Hello everybody and welcome to the Tonic Arms, the first ever Tonic PUBcast, available exclusive to our loyal patrons. The first episode will be open to everybody, just to show what people are missing out on if you're not signed up to the Patron. If after listening to this you are interested, patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic for all our exclusive content. Loads more out there than just a podcast, including these podcasts. I'm Tony. And I'd like to welcome to the Tonic Arms. James, you there, James?
I'm here, Tony.
Hello, mate. And Ben, are you there?
I'm here, mate.
Nice to have you around for a few beers and a little chat. First off, whose idea was it to call it the PUBcast?
Well, it combines our three favourite things: the pub, football, and Dream Team.
Well, clearly you're a fan of the pub, Tony, after getting pissed on last week's pod.
Oh, shit.
How long did it take you to edit that one?
Honestly, that is the longest edit I've ever had to do. And I was absolutely wankered. Apologies.
So if anyone's wondering why I did the closing the close of the pod last week, you now know.
Oh God, it made me laugh. Once I got to that bit, I'd edited all the way through like the hour and a half or whatever it was that week, and I got back to that last bit, and when I just shouted "fucking hell" and slammed down my headphones, and then next thing, James closed the show. Oh God, our in hysterics. But yeah, that's what happens when you drink all day in the sun and then do a podcast that evening. But I think we salvaged it. So yeah, a lot more sober tonight. Looking forward to the first PUBcast. And as we've possibly mentioned, I know we've mentioned to our patrons. I'm not too sure everyone knows, but we have agreed with the Fantasy Football Hub to be doing some exclusive stuff for them this season, including some pre-season articles, which I think the first one might be up there at the moment. And we're also going to be blogging each month. We come up with a great idea between ourselves to do a relay team. So we're gonna run a team between all three of us. So a Dream Team Tonic relay team. Each month we're going to pass the baton, the captain's armband from one to the next. So it could make for some interesting debate, there could be a few slanging matches when something goes wrong or something goes right. So it's going to be a bit of fun. Each month we'll pass the captain's armband, like I say, and then that person gets to make the decisions for that month, and so it passes to the next person. We're going to try and win Dream Team with it. Why not? So yeah, so that'll be once a month. But yeah, so obviously we're going to use this podcast. I think we're just going to have a bit of a chat and we're going to build a team, aren't we, lads?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So just a big thank you to all the new patrons that have joined us recently over the last few weeks since pre-season kicked off. Obviously, to our existing ones, a big thank you as always. But yeah, to our new patrons, Aaron Wade,
Demetrius Angeli,
Neil Clutterbuck,
Tom Conroy,
Dan Morton,
Amandeep Tatler,
Gary Paul,
Finlay Maxwell,
Jamie Brooks,
Jeff McGow,
Seth Oswald,
Rick Lawrence,
and Jake Bevan. Thanks so much for showing your support, getting involved. Hopefully you've got yourselves onto the Discord and into the community, and you're already in there chatting, and you're reaping the benefits of everything that we've got on the Patreon, with all the articles and all the insider info and stuff like that. So yeah, you've done the right thing. I think you'll be doing well in your mini leagues this year. Right, let's get to it then, chaps. First off, we are going to have to choose a formation. Now, I don't know what you both favour. Go on, I'll throw it out there, James. What do you fancy in this year?
4-3-3, I think.
Ben?
I haven't got a preference. I think we should just build this team and then we'll see.
Wait for
I
the budget.
definitely think we want 3 up front, but we'll see what we've got left for the last player or 2,
Yeah, I'm
and then
open
we
to
can
that.
move. Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah, I agree with the 3 up top.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement. I don't think we're going to agree all the way through this, but 3 up top, I think, is definitely the way to go. I think it might just depend on budget, whether it's a 4th midfielder or a 4th defender, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, let's just. We've all got our dream team open, so we can all add them as we're going, as we make a decision, and then you both know the budgets and what we're looking at. So straight to the goalkeepers. First name on your sheet, James.
It's a tricky one. I'm sort of torn between going for a ultra cheapie and somebody who I think will actually get some decent points. If I was going for somebody for decent points that's not top end, because given the budgets this year, I don't think we can afford to go for an Allison or an Edison.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think Hugo Lloris, I've said before, I think he's good value at 3.5. I also think David De Gea and Aaron Ramsdale at 3 would be good choices. In the 2.5 sort of bracket, I think Nick Pope could be, even though he doesn't play in Europe, they've invested in defence, he could be an option.
Yeah.
Or I'd like to defer to Ben on this one because he's really good at picking out the cheapy differentials.
Well, normally I don't start with the goalkeepers. I always start at the top of the end of the field and work my way back, and then I see what I can afford. So I was looking at around 2 million, 2.5 million for a goalie. So out of the 2.5 million goalies, I'd say Nick Pope's the best one. I'd put him in for now, but what do you think, Tony?
I've got at 2.5 Martinez at Villa.
Yeah, good shout.
Again, not in Europe, but he's going to play every game.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to balance that out because, like say, the likes of maybe not so much De Gea, but I say Fabianski at West Ham, obviously rotation risk, as he was all season last season with Areola.
Yeah.
Then you've got De Gea and Ramsdale. Probably, are they going to play them Europa League games?
Probably.
Or is he going to put Leno in? Is he not? And Heaton at United. Now Henderson's gone out on loan. So having a non-European playing goalkeeper, I don't think you're going to lose out on too much points.
No.
If you're going to sacrifice a position, that would be the one to go, wouldn't it? It's not like previous years. I mean, normally I wouldn't do this, but this year you're going to make sacrifice somewhere. Why not be the goalkeeper? Got the lowest ceiling out of all the positions. If we're going to go ultra cheap, and we could stick Pope in at 2.5, but if we find we're struggling for budget, we could even put in Sanchez. And Sanchez actually got more points than Martinez last year. Only just, but he's 500,000 cheaper. So, I mean, what's the difference in points? Martinez got 64, Sanchez got 67, but Sanchez is 500,000 cheaper. So, if we want to go ultra,
what about looking at the opening fixtures though? Because we might be able to make a bit of budget up. Bournemouth and Everton first up for Villa.
Yes, true.
Everton. They're not looking great. They've just lost Richarlison. Bournemouth, obviously just getting promoted. Could be anything. Yeah, and then Crystal Palace after that. I think they've got 3 decent games where they've got a decent chance of clean sheets. With Nick Pope, because I've got him in quite a few drafts as well, Nick Pope. So I do fancy him at Newcastle. Fancy Newcastle to have a very, very good season. Forest and Brighton openings, pretty decent. But then they've got City. And I think that could end up a -3 or a -4. You never know, it depends. But I'm open to either of them, definitely.
Pope was a bit of a star man magnet last year as well. He got 4 star mans.
He was.
But he was in a struggling side, so he was constantly bombarded, yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy for either of those to open the team.
Martinez was amazing the season before, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah. Yes. Good player.
Okay. Martinez it is then.
Martinez?
Yeah, we'll stick Martinez in for now.
Happy days. Where is it? All right, if you want to go on, name a few defenders, Ben.
I think the guy who finished second on the overall points table last season, Trent Alexander-Arnold's got to go in there.
Yeah, he's
start at the high end. 6.5 million.
Eats a lot of budget, but like I say, that point tally, it's difficult to because he's probably just going to repeat what he's done last season.
Well, he's like a midfielder in defence, isn't he? Like he's going to get clean sheet bonuses. I mean, when they get clean sheets, he'll get points for that as well, and he gets his assists and goals.
Yeah, I'd agree with Trent. You reckon, James?
Tricky one. I was quite set on having a Chelsea defender, but I do wonder whether all these new additions might make them a little frail to start off with. Dubai looks like he's a decent player. He's getting on a bit now. He's been linked for years to various top clubs, and the moves never happened. Is he going to slot straight in, and will they be as solid? I don't know. That's my concern with Chelsea. With City, Laporte is apparently carrying an injury, likely to miss the start of the season. John Stones hasn't travelled to the States because of his COVID vaccine status. Again, I mean, we've got Cancelo. Obviously, he's a no-brainer in terms of being a quality player. Won't finish one of the highest scorers, but he has a lot of money at 6.5. Do we want another premium defender in there? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite keen on Reece James. If you look at, he missed 19 games last season. But if you look at his points tally, it's he's got 209 points last season. If he hadn't been out for all those games, he would have been up there with the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Definitely,
no problem.
Definitely, absolutely
Massive
no doubt.
Ceiling. Quite tempted. Bit of a risk with injuries with him, as always, but we've got transfers.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a risk on Reece James and stick him in, and then see how we get on?
Out of all the premiums, so if we're looking at, like, say, Cancelo, Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, James, possibly even throw Chilwell into that mix. I know he's a little bit cheaper and we don't know where he's at. I think out of them lot, the two I would fancy would be James and Trent. Yeah,
James is a top defender. 5.4 points per game last season. I was looking at Chilwell there. I know he only played a few games because he had a bad injury. He got 5.4 points per game as well. But you'd say James is probably more nailed in that team at the moment. Alonso's still there, isn't he? But surely Chilwell's first choice.
I would think so, yeah.
Is Azpilicueta still looking like leaving?
He wasn't in the squad yesterday.
Was he not?
Yeah, he's been linked with Barcelona, but I don't know why he missed the game.
Barcelona's still trying to sell some youth players to fund the move, no doubt.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy, isn't it? They've signed in these players; they can't even register them.
It's unbelievable.
So they fart around, scrabble some pennies together, and then until they've got enough to register the next one.
Yeah, they were buying the next one on Klarna, aren't they? Klarna paying 4 installments.
Yeah,
unbelievable. To quickly filled. They're obviously premium players, so we're probably going to have to look at the.
I think we should move on to midfield now.
Yeah, go on. We'll do it that way. I'm happy to do it that way.
Because we'll easily fill the defence with too much money.
Yeah. Go on then. Up to the midfield options. I'll kick this off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I've got two at the top of my list here with Mahrez and Sterling. Mahrez, as we know, scores points for fun. Does he? Obviously, he sits on bench for a while and then lets you take him out your team before he starts scoring again. But I think with the amount of changes that have happened at City, with Sterling leaving, Jesus leaving as well, I think that opens the door for Mahrez to probably play more of a prominent role this year, especially after signing a new contract as well. I think it shows a lot of faith in Mahrez from Pep. So Mahrez at $5.5 million, I think, is decent value. What do you lads think?
Yeah, definitely.
I think I like Mahrez as an option at 5.5. You've got to remember he finished last season over 7 million, and people were still trying to buy him.
Yeah.
I definitely like Mahrez, and like you say, I think he's going to get more game time. And he's the second highest price midfielder in the game. I think it's going to be tough to get De Bruyne in there as well as having a few top strikers in there.
I think I've got him in one draft, De Bruyne. One draft at 7 million. That's pricey, isn't it? So pricey. You'd hope De Bruyne plays the first few games and blanks. And we can get him to drop to 6.4 or something. And then maybe he becomes an option, but 7 million's huge, especially with the big hitters up front.
Do you know De Bruyne only got 4-star mans last year, but he still finished top scoring midfielder in the game.
It's crazy, isn't it?
He scored like 40 points in one game or something near the end of the season, didn't he?
He got
Before
19
that,
goals.
He was struggling to break 200.
Yeah.
He's got 19 goals and 15 assists. That's probably what pumped it up, though.
It's crazy. Out of all of that, he's only getting 4-star man. Unreal. Do you think then Mahrez is the go-to man for the to get the City coverage in that midfield then at 5.5? Do we think he's going in the team?
He's my favourite Man City midfielder apart from De Bruyne, definitely. And it's 1.5 million saving on De Bruyne.
Yeah. We're happy to stick him in.
He's done it the last 2 seasons, hasn't he? He's been up there.
Yeah.
I don't see that changing.
I can't see it, especially, like I say, with that contract. That's a big deal, that, I think. There he goes then. Mahrez, 5.5 million, first midfielder. Do you want to throw one more in, or are we going to move up top?
I think Gerard Bowen should be a shoo-in at 4.5. That gives him points per million using last year's points of 46.67, one of the highest on the calculations I've done. Yeah. I don't see any reason why he can't repeat that this year. They've been linked to some... I think they're trying to get another striker, aren't they? But that's probably going to be to give Antonio a different role or a rest, or because Antonio wasn't scoring last year, was he?
He set off like a train, didn't he? And then he just fell off a cliff. Yeah. How many did he score in last 4 months at season, 5 months at season? Nothing, was it?
I don't know.
1 or 2?
Maybe 1 or 2. And don't
at least he didn't get injured.
He did. Yeah, he didn't. He might as well have been, though.
Well, he plays every game, doesn't he? He's nailed in that side. There's a chance he might play in the Patron's European League.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
definitely.
Him, but if he does, that's a Brucey bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, 4.5 million. I've got Bowen on my list here. West Ham, obviously, apart from they play City first game, although that sometimes plays into West Ham's hands anyway, because they love a bit of the counter-attack. As we seen last season with a few of the results, like City and Liverpool. But after City, they've got Forest, Brighton and Villa. So they've got a nice opening.
Don't forget the Europa Conference games as well.
And obviously, if he does get in, getting
I'll just
a bit
throw
of game
something
time
out there, if you don't mind.
No.
Yeah.
Around that price bracket, we've also got Diaz, but he's at $500,000 more. But he plays for Liverpool, who over the past few seasons have been scoring goals for fun. He looks sharp in pre-season. I don't know if we'll be able to fit him in as a third midfielder, because it's with budget this year, it's tricky. But what do you guys feel it when you're weighing up Bowen and Diaz? How do you feel about that with the $500,000 difference between the two?
I think Bowen will obviously get more minutes at West Ham, because I think with this 5 sub rule, I think once Liverpool are 3 or 4-0 up in some of these games, we're going to see a lot of younger players or rotation players going on, and they'll be resting the big guns like Diaz and Salah and the likes. Bowen at West Ham, they've not got that big of a squad. I don't think the teams outside, say the top 4 or 5, they don't really have these massive squads. So I don't think the 5 sub rule. I can't see them using 5 subs every game unless they are winning quite well. But more minutes don't mean more points, does it?
No, it doesn't. Bowen is a talisman of West Ham, that is for sure, I would say.
Yeah.
Whereas Diaz may not be. Those goals are going to be spread about across that front line. Although they're going to score more goals than West Ham. It's a tricky one. I just thought I'd throw it out there just to get us all thinking about various different options.
But then I say about the minutes. But if Bowen doesn't play in them Conference League games, Diaz is going to be playing in the Champions League with Liverpool. So
there's no doubt about that. He'll play. Yeah. Certainly. Well, I would think he'll play most of the Champions League fixtures. Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of evens it out. So it's who do you think's going to score more or assist more, Bowen or Diaz? And he's 0.5 million.
It's tough.
I'm erring towards Bowen because he is, like I said, the talisman of that side. And he's a bit cheaper.
Yeah, he's got more chance of getting star man as well.
Yeah, because Liverpool, we all have stalwarts. Trent, Robbo, they all have a star. Van Dijk, Salah.
Yeah.
They all have a star man, don't they? So we're going for Bowen then, 4.5.
Yeah, definitely for the first month.
Yeah.
Well,
I like them fixtures.
Liverpool's fixtures are really good, but yeah, put Bowen in there for now.
Happy days. Bowen's in there. Right, shall we move up top now?
Yeah.
And then we'll probably work our way back, I guess. I think there's going to be some more enablers needed. Right. Up the top, Ben, who have you got, mate?
Mo Salah, running down the wing. Yeah, no excuses, just bang him in there. 31 goals last season, 15 assists. He's got to go in.
Salah's a no-brainer, really, isn't he? No qualms from me.
Yeah. I was on where I've got the list. Obviously, Salah's on there. My main one was Harry Kane. I just had Harry Kane in big letters, but yeah, Salah, I completely agree. Stick him in. And I think Kane, as a touch on him, is probably exactly the same boat. Them two were the top point scorers in Dream Team last season. Goes without saying. They're probably going to be up there again. We're all about it. Like Harry Kane, obviously. Son got all the. We were getting a lot of the goals last year, but Harry Kane's the darling, isn't he? He's the star man magnet, and that's what makes a difference, I think, in the total points at the end of the season, because he outscored Son. Obviously 7.5 million, so he's 1 million more than Son. But yeah, Harry Kane. I don't think I can play a Dream Team without Harry Kane in my team. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, he's a bit of a darling, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10
aside
star
from
mans last year.
Yeah, jointly who?
My mate James Maddison.
Yes, Leicester man.
Yeah.
He had an absolutely amazing season. Amazing season, Dream Team wise.
He was on fire yesterday.
Yeah, and he's obviously carried it into pre-season.
I think he's
carrying
got
it into
a
next
vendetta
season.
with Gareth Southgate.
And so he should.
That goal he scored was unreal.
I've not seen it.
He had his back to goal about 40 yards out. He just flicked it round the defender, turned, then took on the last centre-half, went round the centre-half and then just smashed in the bottom corner. He set a goal up as well.
Sounds lovely. Who was it against?
Hull City.
That's not too bad. I expected you to say something like Nuneaton Borough or something.
They played a weaker side in the first half, and then but with Tillemans in the first half, so maybe that's a sign about him. Like, are you staying or going? And then they played a stronger team second half, and they scored 3 more goals.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes got a score sheet as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Scored a deflected goal.
I like Harvey Barnes, but he's not. I don't think he's on my list. No, he isn't. All right, are we sticking Kane in then? Are we happy? Another 7.5 million.
I can't argue with Kane, mate. Get him in.
Definitely. I think most of my side's going to have Salah and Kane up top. I think it's the third choice striker that's going to provide the tricky decision.
Yeah.
How much money we got left?
10.5 million now.
10.5 million.
And we've got 4 positions to fill. So now we're going to the bottom of our list. I have to scrape a few out here. Right. Should we fill this final striker option, or should we drop back? Let's have a look at the midfielders again. There's quite a few options there. And someone who's started quite well in pre-season, Sancho. Electric for Dortmund, came to United last season and didn't do anything really of note, but started pre-season pretty well, and obviously with a new manager bounce and new manager's ideas. To be fair, United, from what I've seen the snippets in pre-season, they look quite good. Obviously the opposition could be stronger, but yeah, that's every pre-season, isn't it? Everyone gets excited if somebody scores 4 against the team. We get excited, don't we, James?
Well, that's you've cut to the chase there. Nunes has got to take that third striker slot after I'm slurring my words already. What's going on?
You must have been drinking what I was having last week.
4 goals tonight, yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, get that monkey off his back, so to speak. But yeah, 10.5 million, 4 places left. We've got what? 3 million. We've got 3 million players and 2.5, 3.5. No, 1.5. Sorry, but yeah, I'll get your maths right. We're scraping a little bit. I don't think Nunes going in to leave us with much left. He's at 5 million, isn't he? Good option at 5 million, decent price. Penalties would be interesting with Nunes. But then the penalty was that was for his first goal, weren't it?
It was, and Salah let him take it effectively. So I don't think people should get too excited about that one. Maybe he might take them if Salah's not on the field, but Salah's not going to be giving up those as a senior player. And with a very good record, he's not going to be giving up those penalties. I would be amazed if he did. He wants those records, you know. He wants another golden boot.
Yeah. What do you reckon then? Throw a few options out. Throw a few cheapies.
What, for strikers?
Ben, you need to unmic your mute, mate. Unmic your mute. Unmute your mic.
I was just having a cough there. The only other ones that come to mind is probably Ericsson, but we don't know how he's going to play for United yet. So the way that Sancho's playing at the moment, yeah, I think he's a good option.
Yep.
Playing in the front three, out of position, midfielder on the game. So yeah, don't mind it.
Decent at 3 million. Other options in that price bracket.
Traore.
Cheat code. He's back at Wolves, isn't he?
I believe he is. Yeah.
Crazy. That'll be interesting if he starts a few games. The Wolves have got a good opening actually. I think they're opening 2 games. They've got Leeds and Fulham.
Your eyes have lit up, Tony. I can tell.
Oh, I know. That'd be interesting. If he starts fucking rubbing his arms in baby oil, then he might be coming into a few of my teams. I'm not too sure. But yeah, Leeds and Fulham for Wolves opening games. I'll touch on that a little bit later. But nice couple of games there.
What about Ben Rama? Do you think he'll kick on this season?
I think good player, Ben Rama. Good player. I don't know exactly what his minutes seemed like last year, or I don't looked into his appearances and stuff like that. But I think you're underused. I want to see him more nailed in the side. I want to see him starting week in, week out, and then he's a great option. Very talented player. And again, obviously, we say about West Ham, they've got, apart from City, they've got a decent opening. And they've got the Papa John's League, haven't they, James?
They do. I've seen Ben Rama linked with moves away in pre-season, so I'm not convinced. He wasn't really starting that many games near the end of the season.
Who's you been linked with, James?
I would steer clear, I think.
Who's you been linked with, mate? Who's you been linked with, Ben Rama?
I can't remember now, but it was definitely, there was talk of him moving away.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think Sancho's a good option. I've got on here. I've got Dewsbury Hall at Leicester, but obviously we're failing. We don't have the European games there. Whereas Sancho's probably going to play quite a few more games for United in Europe. Harvey Elliott, Liverpool, 2 million. He got an assist tonight.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of Harvey Elliott. I think he's a great little player. I think he's going to go to the very top. I think if he starts every other game for Liverpool at 2 million, he's a decent option. An attack-minded player, got an assist, got a goal in him. So he's somebody we should be looking at. I just drop back into defence.
Yeah.
And look at a few of like the 3 million, 2.5 million mark. Matty Cash at Villa. Obviously, we've already got Martinez in net. But Villa have a decent opening fixtures. Matty Cash's got a decent assist threat.
I think we've got to go lower than that, mate, if we're going to make this team.
Cresswell, West Ham.
Yeah, he was on my thoughts. Cresswell, Zuma, they're both same price. Cresswell's on set pieces. Zuma's quite good at attacking corners and free kicks.
And cats.
Yeah, and cats.
Sorry, I had to. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
The season before he signed for West Ham, he got like 5 goals before Tuchel took over.
Yeah, he was doing really well, weren't he?
Yeah, Cresswell, Zuma, any of them.
I think I prefer Cresswell, only because I'm not just. You're absolutely right with what you said about Zuma, and I thought he would do that last season, but he didn't. And I know he was injured for quite a lot of it, and I know he started late. But Craig Dawson was more threatening at the set plays, I think, and I just think with Cresswell and on free kicks, etc., He takes
Definitely.
he edges it for me. Yeah.
We don't want that cat kicking guy anyway.
No.
No, just out of principle.
Yeah, let's go for Cresswell.
Yeah, Cresswell sounds good to
He's
me.
got a couple of extra games this month as well.
We don't want that pussy in our side.
So we're looking at the team now. We've got 5 million for 2 more players. What are we going to do? Because I don't really want to put a 2.5 million striker in our team.
No,
Well, there is
that's it.
Nketiah at 2.5,
No.
but looks like Jesus is going to be the main man there, doesn't it? Based on pre-season.
Do you know? I had a quick look into this because Nketiah was in a few of my my drafts, and I was getting a little bit like he signed a new deal and this that, and I thought actually Jesus coming in, Saka playing on the right, Jesus through the middle, and Nketiah's playing second fiddle. But in pre-season, in the 3 games they've played, he's only scored 1 goal in them 3 games, but he's had 73 minutes in 1 game, 45 minutes in another, and 67 in another. He's played. I mean, that's out of most of the Arsenal players. That is majority of the minutes he's got. He's got probably more minutes than most of them, especially the forward line. So
Right.
maybe he won't be playing second fiddle. I don't know, but
Well,
he's definitely getting minutes now.
That's the good thing about this lineup. It's not set. This is just a draft.
It is.
The first draft we put together.
It's very true. Yeah.
I don't mind putting him in for now, but we can review it when we get closer to the kickoff on the 5th of August.
Right. Well, Nketiah at 2.5. What about Martial at United? 3 million. 3 and 3 in pre-season. New manager coming in. Seems like a bit of a new man.
I think he's got more chance of playing than Nketiah, but yeah. But for Ronaldo, I don't know what's Ronaldo's supposed to be coming back, so I don't know.
We've already got Sancho, I suppose. We'll be taking 2 punts of a reinvigorated United. We don't want to be caught out by that, do we?
No.
Do you know how many years Martial's been at United?
7.
Yes.
Wow.
And has he ever done it?
No.
No, not really. I think he did it on his debut against Liverpool, didn't he? That was it.
All right, you had to bring that one up, didn't you? He did score on his debut against Liverpool, yes. And all the United fans were going, "Oh, he's the Messiah." Well, he wasn't the Messiah.
No, he wasn't.
Just a naughty boy.
Brilliant. Right then. So, I mean, James, with that line, you probably just sold me Nketiah. And Martinelli as well. We'll give him a little bit of a nudge as well.
Yeah.
So,
Martinelli's 2.5.
yeah.
Well,
same as Nketiah.
He's more likely going to play than Nketiah for me.
For that left-hand side.
Yeah, because Smith Rowe's injured at the moment, struggling for fitness. So I think Martinelli starts the season on the left-hand side. But the only thing is, we're going to be using a striker for a midfield slot, basically, because he's a striker in the game, but he'll be playing left-sided.
Yeah, he's one of them.
But he's cheap.
But then, could we find a midfielder at 2.5 million with the same goal threat? That's the dilemma then, isn't it? If we do drop to and I don't have much on my list. To be honest, I had Calvin Phillips on there at 2 million at City, just maybe for a few price rises. Because if you see with Rodri does so well at City with them 7+ ratings.
Yeah. I know.
Unbelievably well.
That was in my thoughts as well. Like if Phillips could get the 7 ratings.
Yeah, I think for 2 million, just stick him in and let you get 3 points a game.
Yeah. But we still don't know if he's going to start. He started centre. He's played centre half, didn't he? Given out for City.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's probably because Stones ain't there and they're struggling for a few options. Obviously, with Laporte being out, but Calvin Phillips is one to keep an eye on as well. He's a very, very good player. I reckon he could swallow up quite a lot of 7+ ratings if he starts and plays at 2 million.
Here's a wild card for you.
Go on, James. Love it.
Brian Mbeumo. It's been talked about on our Discord group quite a lot. He's only 2 million. He does play pretty much just off of Ivan Toney. He got nearly 100 points last year, and for 2 million, that would give him. Well, he got 92 points. He's effectively, if he did the same this year, he would have a points per million of 46, which is pretty high. And people are probably laughing about this. I'm sure we've all had a little smirk when we saw it, but if you actually look into the numbers, it's not that crazy.
I was just wondering how many times he's hit the post.
7 in it. 7 times or something like that.
Yeah.
He's got 8 goals and 7 assists from last season. So if he got them 7 shots inside the post, he would have had 16. He would have 15 goals.
So we got Mbumo, 2 million. I think who's the other one we just touched on? Martinelli. I think they're probably similar positions then too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Obviously, Mbumo is a midfielder in Dream Team. But could be an enabler in that, in that spot, definitely.
Martinelli has the European games. That could sway it for that extra 0.5 million, but obviously we've got one more position left. I mean, we could go Martinelli and Mbumo and play 3-4-3.
Martinelli only got 80 points last year. Did you know that? It's not a great return, but they've got more fixtures this year. He's a year older. There's no doubt there's a talented player in there.
Was he injured for part of last season?
He's always injured. He's one of those players that
don't be daft, Tony.
He's had injury problems throughout his Arsenal career, basically. I think last year was the season where we saw a bit more of him. But he's still pretty young. He's definitely got talent.
Here's one for you. Sorry, go on.
Go on, Ben. No, carry on.
I was just going to say, here's one for you. Mbumo scored a hat-trick in the League Cup last year, didn't he? And we've got the League Cup games coming up in August. Maybe we should just... And it's an extra game for Brentford. Maybe we should just go for it and hope he gets a few prize prizes. We've got decent fixtures as well, Brentford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to take the punt.
Yeah, it gives us 3 million for the last player, either a defender or a forward.
Where are we?
We could always manoeuvre some money about, but I think let's do Mbumo.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire's a 3 million defender. If you can recapture his form of 2 seasons ago, he could be a bonus point magnet with those 7 ratings.
True. Very true.
Here's us with 4-4-2 then, when we've just been going on about playing 3 up front.
We've got to the 3 million mark left in the bank. What we got that for Martial, Martinelli. Do you think we're a bit Arsenal light with the great opening fixtures?
Gabriel's 3 million. He could be an option in defence. He's got a few goals last year.
Yeah, I like that shout. Do like that shout actually.
Yeah. Or do we?
The 3 million. Or Cucurella if he does go to City.
Yeah, I might suggest to you two that we change Reece James to Zinchenko and get 2 million, and then we can upgrade the striker. Because
we don't know where he's going to play. I think
he's going to play midfield.
I don't know he will, because Tierney's always injured.
He'll cover there, but he'll play
Tommy
midfield.
Asu's always freaking injured as well.
He'll end up right back.
They probably want him to play in midfield, but he'll just end up playing like at Man City. He started at Man City as a number 10.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest that we take Reece James out and put in Zinchenko. save ourselves £2 million, upgrade for a striker. I just think Zinchenko's going to play midfield for Arsenal. So I'm feeling like they've got Tierney, they've got their settled back four, haven't they? Tierney will play left back. Obviously, when Tierney's injured,
once they're all fit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Zinchenko's going to play ahead of Tierney.
No.
And I think them two could be dangerous down that side. If Zinchenko played further forward on that left-hand side, or maybe...
He could even play left forward, couldn't he?
He could play anywhere. He's a talented footballer, Zinchenko. He's just been unfortunate that he's never really had the game time at City.
My only concern there is that Tierney's always injured, so Zinchenko's going to be playing left back most of the season. But I don't disagree with your sentiment. When he started at City as a number 10 when he first came, and he was converted to play fullback. Some of the players are saying he's the most talented player, one of the most talented players in that Man City squad when he was there.
Yeah.
I can't believe they sold him.
I can't believe they sold him, but I think it's the player's wish. I think he just really wants game time now.
Yeah.
For Ukraine, he plays in midfield, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would think that, just thinking this through, you would think that would he have moved knowing that he's going to play fullback again when his natural position probably isn't fullback?
No.
Yeah, I think that surely he's had that discussion with Arteta, who obviously knows him well. He knows he was never a left back. He's just been converted there. I think Zinchenko at $3.5 million at Arsenal with the great opening fixtures. Yeah. Do you actually, looking at my defender options, he was the very first defender I wrote down. Him and Cucurella.
He could prove to be a good out of position option, couldn't he? Defender in the game, but actually playing in midfield. So
get the best of both worlds.
Don't really want to lose Reece, but
I like Reece James, but it's so hard this year with all the prices. They've proper bumped the defenders up, haven't they? It's good.
They got Tottenham's second game, haven't they? Chelsea. Yeah. James. I love you, James. But,
right, Tony.
Zinchenko has caught our eye. Right. So there we are. At the moment, we've got Martinez in net, Zinchenko, Trent, Cresswell. Midfield, Mahrez, Bowen, Sancho and Bumo, Salah and Kane. 5 million budget. So I'm guessing we're going to move up to the top now.
Yeah.
So we are going to switch to a 3-4-3. And as soon as I seen 5 million, the first name that springs to my mind is Jesus at Arsenal.
I thought you were going to say Nunez there after he scored goals tonight.
No, that would fit wind up for James. So we've got Jesus and we've got Nunez, both priced at 5 million. Obviously, the Darwin Nunez show tonight. A double Liverpool attack.
I think there's only one choice there, and I hate to say it, but I think it's Jesus with those fixtures. Nunez new to the league. Yeah, you can't get too carried away with these pre-season scores. Jesus has done it in the league, hasn't he, before? So, not being given enough game time at City, probably would have scored a lot more if he had.
Yeah.
Arteta knows him. Nunez is new to the league. I try and steer away from those sorts of players unless I'm absolutely sure. I mean, it's like Haaland. He's new to the league as well, and we're hearing he's got injury issues. I don't think he's played in pre-season yet, but he might play on Sunday against Munich.
Yeah, I think you were a little bit ignorant of us not to touch on Haaland when we touched on strikers, but I think obviously the recent news has obviously done that for us. Where I actually went through my drafts and I did remove Haaland from most of them. Whereas I hadn't have heard any news about these niggles and Pep saying that it's a long season and you don't have to really be ready for that first game week and blah blah. If I hadn't have heard that, then he's in every single one of my drafts, without doubt. So it is a big bit of news really. So it's one we will be watching, I guess. And yeah, Haaland, quality player. He's a bag of absolute shit ton of goals for City. But Jesus, then what do you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, I think Jesus was in most of my drafts to start off with. I'm still thinking he's a good player to get in there. Definitely. I agree with you to get Jesus in there. It's looking a lot better now. The team, I think. I didn't like it with two up front.
We got obviously sacrificing James is it's big. It's big. We hope Chelsea concede a few in the first few games, and then his price drops a little bit. But it's so difficult to have all the premiums. You literally it's a bit of a raffle. You choose a good selection of a few and hope you get the combination right. So try to pick a lock.
So many good players missed out on that team as well. It's just so hard to get them all in.
Yeah, I think that scares you, doesn't it? Like, you look at that team. We've got some massive players: Salah, Kane, Mahrez, Trent. They are four of they score Dream Team points for fun. They're up there year in year out. So we've got the four massive ones. Bowen, who had a great season last season, and then we've got Jesus, who obviously could have a really good year if he got the minutes week in week out. He could be anything. Sancho, we know his talent. He could be a big Dream Team player, definitely. Zinchenko out of position, and then we've got three probably say lesser players. They're not lesser players, obviously good players, but and Bumo, 2 million. He's a punt. He's a punt that could pay off with decent fixtures and playing quite an attacking position. Cresswell, obviously, we know he takes set pieces, corners, opening fixtures, not great. He might end up with a -3 straight off. But knowing him, he might get an assist and a 7 rating. Very good player. And Martinez in the net, who's a top drawer goalkeeper, has the early fixtures. Before we know it, he could be worth 3 million. And we could be looking to use them funds elsewhere or improve our goalkeeper. So I think it's pretty balanced. James, what do you reckon?
It is pretty balanced, given the constraints we've got this year. I'm sure some people will be listening to this going, what the fuck? Cresswell, but they probably haven't put a draft together yet. It's a lot harder this year. You're going to have some enablers. One player we haven't mentioned is Sterling at 5 million. I think he could be a good option.
He got a mention, but we moved quickly on. I think we put Mahrez in, and then we moved quickly to the forwards. Sterling, 5 million. Probably playing up top or off the front man for Chelsea.
Could be a Starman magnet.
Yeah, but we know he's a confidence player, isn't he? If it doesn't go well for him at first few games at Chelsea, he might go missing.
Well, the good thing about having Mahrez in there is that we can move pretty much to any player from him. If it doesn't work out, we're going to move to Sterling. The only player we can't move to is De Bruyne.
Yeah.
In one move.
Great shout, Ben. So we've got the option. Even after the week, after 1 week, like I say, after the opening week, you've pretty much got that flexibility, haven't you? Which is important, being able to pivot from player to player.
Yeah.
I like it. And Bumo, do you know at the start when we started this tonight, I never thought we'd have him Bumo in. But there we are.
We're taking a punt on him for August.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
it's him or Harvey Elliott, really, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
at 2 million. There's not a lot of other choice there unless you throw away that position. There are some £1 million players out there.
Yeah.
Is that a valid tactic? I'm not sure. I suppose you could argue if it allows you to upgrade elsewhere. Ideally, you want players to be returning something. Some of those 1 million players will return nothing, and if you get it wrong, you might even return minus values. And the problem with those really cheap ones, and I'm seeing them in a lot of drafts, I think it's what's the £1 million keeper that's going to play?
Rodak.
Yeah,
Rodak.
I'm seeing him. If he has an absolute mare, you're in trouble because he's 1 million. There's no other keepers at that price. Or at least there was last time I looked.
That's 2 transfers.
It's 2 transfers. Yeah. Yeah, you can
We
always.
know how valuable they are.
Yeah, if he stands a blind, you can always bring him in, but I suspect he won't.
Yeah.
Well, you could downgrade Martinez to Meslier, who's 1.5 million, and then you could upgrade Mbumo to, I don't know, Maguire, Cucurella if he goes to Man City. Who else is 3 million? There's quite a few good players at 3 million.
Yeah, once you start hitting 3 million, you've got some real options there, haven't you?
Yeah, there's some decent options.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel, obviously centre half, and then you've got it opens doors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Cucurella, City, anyone that's listening, if he goes to City, because I've watched him at Brighton, you were impressing me. I was thinking, why has no other team snapped this lad up? He's brilliant. If City get him, he'd be a great option. Great option there at 3 million. Player
of the year at Brighton last year.
It were unreal.
Yeah, very good player.
But yeah, I'm happy enough with that balance. It'd be interesting, hopefully. Obviously, we've got two West Ham lads that are opening against City. Maybe they catch them on their heels a little bit.
City have been known to have a slow start to the league, haven't they?
It'd be interesting.
In fact, I mean, let's hope they do, because then, like a few not last season, the season before, I think they had a shocking start, and everyone written them off, and their players were dropping nicely in price, and he could just snap them up for, nearly $1 million less.
Yeah,
opens up so many more, options and opportunities there.
Yeah.
Like the season Fergie won their Dream Team, Man City were like mid-table in December.
Yeah,
they went on to win the league. That's when he said he jumped on them all.
Yeah, it was January, wasn't he? He literally loaded up.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreal. It's going to be one of the most interesting seasons, I think. Definitely with these prices.
Ben, you're drinking water. Are you okay? What's going on?
I've had 3 cans, but there's water on the table when I was first.
Some pub this Tonic Arms.
Vodka.
You want to share them tits with me? Could have done with some water last week. It's been good, lads. I've enjoyed that, building a team with you both. Like I said, that'll be our relay team. That's the opening thing. The only thing we have left to settle now. So obviously, I'm getting wed on Monday, so we're all away because you're both coming to my wedding. Thank you for making the long journey. I appreciate it. So what we need to do is, obviously, the week after, I'm on my honeymoon for 2 weeks. So it's going to be a tough opening for me. I really am going to try and, on my honeymoon, try and make sure I get them teams planned properly. So I'm going to be probably messaging you two, asking for any big news on big players you need to be sending my way to. I might even give you a mortgage. Got to sort the teams out. But yeah, so I'm going to try my best anyway to tidy my teams up. But so obviously on the first leg of the relay, it's wise not to have me in charge of the team. So it's between you two. Who's taking the baton from the start line with this team, and who's doing the run through to the end of August?
I'll do it.
I'll
start it off.
Happy days, mate. Right.
Just one thing. I don't want to. When you hand over that baton to me, I do not want to see too many Leicester players. All right.
I was going to suggest Vardy actually.
It just means once we get to Christmas and we're way behind, we can always blame a slow start.
Yeah. Hey, just remember though, I take it back in the 4th month.
That's true. Right, so Ben, you've got the captain's armband for the first month. Obviously, this team is pending injuries, changes, like transfers. We don't know, but there might be a few tweaks. But hopefully, you've enjoyed listening to us go through a lot of the options and what's going on in our minds as regards to building a draft. If you have not subscribed to us on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps. Drop us a comment. We'll get back in touch with you. If you enjoy our content, there's lots more on our Patron. That's patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. It's cheaper than less than a cost of coffee a month, isn't it? It's very, very, very cheap. And there's lots more content on there. I'm pretty sure that if you were involved, you would be winning your mini leagues. You get some very, very sound advice of a very good community of people, all Dream Team managers and more. A lot of FPL managers, TFF managers, Sky managers on there. They like to discuss that in certain sections, so it's open to a lot of people. But yeah, get involved. We appreciate everyone's support, everyone who's signed up already, everyone who listens on YouTube at the hub, and obviously our patrons. Thanks very much. Hopefully this first PUBcast has whetted your appetite and you sign up and you'll hear the next one. Obviously on the next one, me, Ben and James will be going through our own drafts and you'll see how we're looking to attack the season without us all poking our noses into each other's business, basically. It'll be just a one-mind team rather than a three-mind team. So they'll be open and available to everyone to have a listen and see how we build those teams. So enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure I don't have many edits to do, not as many as last week's pod, seeing as I'm not drank a full keg of beer, so which is always good. Again, yeah, thanks for listening. Cheers, lads. It's good to have you.
Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Last orders at the bar.